You're listening to the Tao of Indifference, sex, dating, and relationship advice for an indifferent world. For more advice and tips, check out taoofindifference.com or follow us on Twitter at indifferent_D.
Hello listeners, and welcome to, I'm pretty sure, episode number 15 of the Tao of Indifference. Today's topic is 10 ways to fix your dating life. Before I go on, just remember, if you are not subscribed on iTunes or Stitcher or YouTube or any other thing, you can find us at Tao of Indifference, and just Google that. I'm also at taoofindifference.com. I post all my podcasts there, all my blog entries there, etc., etc. Today, I want to introduce my brother, who will be co-hosting with me. This is Delaney. Delaney, say
hello.
What's up. All right. So, before we get into the topic, I wanted to answer a lengthy question that I stole from Reddit under the dating advice section. I occasionally post under there and give advice, but you guys get the direct answer. So I'm going to read the question, and then we'll get into it. Long story short, I met a girl and we're really enjoying spending time with each other. We eventually revealed that we see each other as more than just friends, which is great, but we haven't discussed dating or being exclusive. Now that we've expressed our feelings for each other, I feel like I should make some sort of move. I don't want to lose her or to have her lose interest in me or make her think that I'm not romantically interested. What should I do? All right. So, if it's me, and just some background, the guy's 21, the girl's 21, so he's fairly young and not all that experienced in dating. If it's me and somebody tells you I'm romantically interested, somebody tells me, hey, I'm romantically interested in you, and the feeling is mutual, that would be a perfect time to kiss them. I mean, it's pretty clear that the first thing you should do is say, perfect, let's make out. Let's put our faces on each other's, and you know, where you go from there and how serious you guys get is completely up to you, because again, I don't know how serious you are, but you should at minimum initiate some sort of physical contact. I'm not saying that you need to bone immediately after telling someone that you are interested in them, but at least say, all right, well, now that we're both attracted, we both know that we're attracted to each other, and we find ourselves, you know, wanting to be next to each other and all that. Let's make out. Let's, you know, touch each other's butts and stuff. You know. Laney, what do you think?
Well, so his problem is that he likes this girl, and has she told him that?
Based on what he said that the girl not only it's pretty clear that they both like each other, but he doesn't know what the next step is.
Oh, after you tell each other that you like him?
He already said, hey, I like you, and she said, I like you as well.
I believe maybe he should ask her, where does she see it going? Like, okay. Instead of making a move, maybe see where she stands more than I just like you. Like, where do you see this going? Where do you want to take this?
Nice. Okay. Yeah. I like that idea. I mean, my idea is better, but no, it's actually that's a good point, because mine is under the assumption that they both want the same thing.
Yeah.
And they might not want the same thing. She might say, I really like you, and I want to be in a serious committed relationship, and he might just want to hook up with her. So, yeah. Fair point. All right. I'm not reading any dating news. All the news that's come out this week has sucked lately. So I'm just going to skip over dating in the news. Other than to say, anecdotally, I heard from someone that there's this huge uptick in fake spam profiles on Tinder. You don't use dating sites.
Yeah,
but,
I don't.
Tinder is a dating website that basically is very simple. It's just an app. It's not even like a website like OkCupid or eHarmony. Tinder is an app where you either swipe one way if you think someone's attractive,
wow,
and swipe the other way if you think no.
Like a yes or no type of thing.
Yeah,
like,
it's basically a yes or no. It's a binary. Like, you are attractive, you are not attractive. And if you both think that the other person's attractive, you then get matched, and then you can send them a message, but you can't send people messages unless they already find you attractive. So a lot of people use it because it's really, especially girls, every girl I've spoken to who uses it loves it because you don't get unsolicited, creepy messages from people. Now you can get unsolicited creepy messages after you match with someone, but at the minimum, if a guy looks shady, you don't have to get a message from him ever. So what I've been hearing lately is that a bunch of people are encountering a ton of fake profiles, like spam profiles. Like you match with someone and they say, "Hey, let's talk on my webcam website," and it's obviously a scam, and they want your credit card. And it was just really interesting because the appeal of Tinder is very much, it's easy to sign up. It's, you know, it takes 5 seconds to sign up for Tinder, whereas something like an OkCupid or a Match or an eHarmony, it's much longer because you got to put in all this info. And like Tinder, you just link to a Facebook and voila, you got a profile and some pictures. So I'm very curious. I really would love to hear about the changes that have happened for Tinder, because Tinder's only been around maybe a year, maybe 2 years. It's very new. So, you know, that's something I want to look out for. Not news or anything, just something I heard about and I thought it was interesting. So, on to 10 ways to fix your dating life. I wrote an article about it. It is, of course, on delveindifference.com. But I just wanted to talk about it and, of course, get your insights, Delaney.
Okay.
So my first of the 10 ways to fix your dating life was to get a new look. And what I mean by that is you can always change how you look physically. You know, if you are getting out of shape, maybe you go back to the gym. Maybe you make some small changes to the clothes that you wear on dates. I know a lot of people get really lazy about what they wear on dates. You know, so if you're showing up to dates and you're sort of wearing like a sports jersey, that's probably not the best look for you or any person, guy or girl.
Yeah.
Unless your date is at a sporting event. You know, simple things, getting rid of some old stuff, retiring some looks, realizing that your look is really dated, wearing, you know, get rid of your fedora, unless you're you, because you're very attractive.
Fedoras are awesome.
Yeah, well, you're also not wearing a fedora trying to attract girls.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference. But, yeah, so it's about getting a new look.
Wait, is this dating, improving your dating life while you're already dating, or trying to
Be either ones. If you're trying to get dates, or if you feel like you're going on a lot so if you're dating a girl and she sort of seems not interested, or a guy, you know, if you're dating someone and they're not interested, they're sort of losing interest, these tips can either be for someone who's dating actively with one person or a couple people, or you're not getting any dates. It's just any way to fix your dating life.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes you do need to, like, a lot of people do need to refresh how they look, you know, like you can't be wearing the same ratted clothes, the same every single date you go on with, even with someone you're dating currently, you know, like it just shows that you're not really that interested in sort of general upkeep. And, you know, I wouldn't want to date somebody who just shows up and only shows up to dates in the same sweatpants and Uggs and hair in a bun and just schlubby looking, you know, like
it's like in the house.
Yeah, like you look like you rolled out of bed and you went on a date. And by the same token, I know that if you show up on dates with new people and you look like that, no one's gonna want to go on a second date with you. You're just gonna look like, if you look like you rolled out of bed, they're not gonna want to roll into bed with you, you know. So the second one is to build your confidence. And I've said it before, but the thing that people find really sexy more than how attractive you are physically is how confident you are. I always said that a 10 with no self-esteem is never going to be as attractive as a 7 with high self-esteem. Because this is somebody who may not look like a model, but doesn't faze them. You know, like there are people who are not good looking who are incredibly confident, and people find them incredibly attractive because they give off an air of, I am attractive not because of only how I look. What do you think about that?
I think so as well, but not so much confidence. I think also a 10 with if she's a horrible person or he's a horrible person, right, that makes them a 5 or lower. Yeah. Like you're at least a 5 if you're a 10 with, like, I don't know.
So would you say it's more of a less confidence and more about the, I guess, building up your being a better person, just in general?
Yeah,
like, don't be a terrible person.
Yeah.
And a lot of being a terrible person can be choices you make or things that you are choosing that hold you back. So it can be negative and positive, or not negative and positive, more so One can be you're actively being negative and it's impacting people, so you're being kind of rude and obnoxious. Or the other way is you think that you don't have a lot of self-worth.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right, I like that.
And also, I think it's also your energy levels. Like, like the more positive energy you are, people are gonna want to be around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you're fun, you're always thinking positively. You always look up instead of looking down.
Yeah.
Which that could be about yourself as well. Like, think up of yourself and like of the world.
So your body language shows your confidence.
Yeah, definitely.
No, hey, we're on the same page. Good, because otherwise I'd fire you. All right. The third thing is get better at having conversations. So obviously we can agree that if you don't know how to have a conversation with people, it'd be much harder to go on dates. You can't go on dates and not have conversations. What is a good way? What do you do when you meet someone new, like a rando person, like just a stranger? I say, hey, this is my brother. You've never met him. What is something that you do so that you can have good conversations?
One of the first things I try to do is to let them know that I don't take myself too seriously. Yeah. Like I'm okay with you making a joke about me. Like any of your friends, they within meeting me, they felt comfortable. Say, oh, he's the guy who threw up at the bar, or like, and I don't have a problem with that. Like you, like thinking of me as the guy who threw up. And another thing I like to do is get people to talk about themselves, because people can talk for hours about themselves. So I think once you get people comfortable enough to say, you know what, I'm going to tell you about when I was 5 and I fell off the swing, and then all of a sudden you're enjoying the story, and really you just had a 2-hour conversation about them. Yeah. But you don't make them feel like you're talking too much about yourself. You know, you remain interested in them. Yeah. And even if it's not a date, if it's just meet a new friend or something like that.
Yeah, that's good advice.
What about you? What do you do?
What I do, actually, a lot of what you do. I usually try to make people feel comfortable with me, especially because we're both tall.
Yeah.
And
people.
I'm tall, so I try to make people feel like, no, don't worry, I'm a nice guy. I'm not gonna eat you, or steal your livestock or something, or your horse. And I try to get people to talk about themselves, because, especially if they're new, it makes them feel comfortable first. I found that people are way more willing to reciprocate when you ask them a question. So if you say, what do you do for a living? They're going to ask you what you do for a living. Yeah. And you say, where are you from? And tell me about that. They're going to tell you all about themselves. And then they'll probably ask about you. And even if they don't, it's not necessarily that they're not interested. A lot of people just sort of aren't. Some people just aren't. You have to realize that, for me, that's the thing that I always try to consider, is that not everyone knows social cues and knows how to have good conversations. So I try to lead them along if I feel like they're not very comfortable. Like, a lot of people just don't know that if you say, hi, how are you? They're supposed to say, I'm fine, and yourself, or I'm not fine, and yourself. So I try to lead them along.
What do you do when someone says, I'm not fine? Oh, man. I always feel like that's a weird place. Like,
no one ever says it.
Yeah, like, good morning, how are you? I'm having a horrible day. What about yourself?
Ask about it. Yeah, you ask about it. That's all. It's like, oh man, that sucks. What's going on? Yeah. And that sort of goes back into, you reciprocate and you learn social cues. Because really, when it comes down to it, I wasn't always good at conversation, so I know that it takes work, and so I work on it. And I know that, as everyone thinks, every conversation has a certain uniqueness to it, but it really doesn't. Every conversation sort of follows a pattern, and it follows a script. I'm doing air quotes. You can't see it. I'm doing air quotes and saying script, but every conversation that's pretty much ever happened follows a certain type of script, and it's sort of, you are just improvising the lines. So I can have a conversation with you every day, and it'll be a different conversation, but it follows a certain pattern, because it's a dialogue. It either goes, I say something, you say something. I say something for a long time, you respond to that, or say something unrelated, or, and I linked to a bunch of. So I have a list of, I don't know if I showed it to you, but it's a list of 40 conversation starters that aren't like typical, like, what's your name, where are you from? And I also linked to like 6 articles about how to have conversations, because a lot of people now just aren't good at having conversations, and I don't know if it's generational or the fact that most people now communicate via text, either if it's in the email or actually texting. But you find that people just are really awkward. And they don't know how to talk to people because they never had to, and they only know how to talk to their friends. And talking to their friends is this weird, like, esoteric, like, we use our own language, basically, and we have our own little inside jokes, and those people can't talk to people. So I really try to handhold sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when I meet friends and friends of friends. All right. The fourth tip is to stop dating people who are bad for you. I think we can both agree that in our lives we've dated people who were bad for us. Not now.
Recently.
Not now, thankfully. Yeah. Neither one of us is dating anyone who's terrible. But I think we can agree that dating people who are bad for you just doesn't work.
And sometimes I think stepping out of your relationship mentally and realizing that you may not see that it's bad for you,
right?
But you're 5 years from now, you're gonna wish you could tell yourself today, like, oh, you know what, you should have never dated her, or should never dated him, things like that.
Yeah, no, it's true, and it's hard for people to take a step back, but sometimes you have to say, I need to look at this objectively.
Yeah,
and people have a hard time doing it. I mean, nobody's gonna be 100% objective with themselves 100% of the time, but
unless you're Hoshner, then.
Oh yeah. From Criminal Minds, that guy. Yeah, but he's a fictional character.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right? Only unless you're a fictional character, or unless you. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. No one's objective with themselves except for Aaron Hotchner, the star of Criminal Minds, which is, Yeah, I finished all the episodes now. I'm waiting for season 10 to come out.
It's on TV.
I don't have.
Oh, you mean on Netflix? Oh, okay.
I can't. If I can't stream it, I can't watch it.
Got it.
Yeah, that sucks. Oh, well, anyway, yeah. Don't date people who are bad for you. Yeah. Number 5, stop dating people just because you're single. I've never done that. I was single for years. I don't think you've ever done it.
Sort of. Not dating, but I would just look for hookups anywhere I would go.
Oh, that's different. Yeah.
Like, I'm single, I need to hook up with somebody tonight.
Well, yeah, that's a little different. I think most people do that, but there's a lot of people. There's a girl I used to date. I'm not going to name names, but there was a girl I dated where I don't think she was ever single, and she went from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend to eventually a marriage and then a kid, and I'm not really sure she was ever happy being alone. And it's one thing to want to be in a relationship and want to feel a connection with someone, but to force it just puts you in a bad relationship, and you'll just be bitter.
Yeah, like people who are afraid of being alone. Or
being alone is awesome. And I love being alone. I slept alone last night. It was incredible. I mean, I did spill ice cream on my bed. That was really embarrassing. But if I was not alone, that would have been even more embarrassing. And hopefully my girlfriend is listening to this podcast by the time it goes up. Yeah. Oof, man. All right. 6. And I don't know if I ever told you this one, but I blog about it a lot. It's you should get good at being rejected. So, just in life, but in dating especially. And we're 2 guys, so we can relate to being rejected. Maybe not you, because you look like a model.
I mean, it's been a few years since I tried, and they said no. Mm-hmm. But
okay.
But I mean, like when I've tried to hit on girls at a bar, I've been rejected, sort of.
Like once.
Yeah, I mean, but no, you know what it is? Because I know how I read women, I profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can tell if you're close to me because this is the nearest seat, or if you're close to me because you want to sit next to me, and I check out what you got going on, and I decide to make a move or not make a move.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, I'll do it now. I'm in a relationship, but
she might be listening.
Yeah.
I hope. I need a listener. Yeah, but people, despite the fact that you've been rejected in the past.
Yes, I have. And jobs as well.
And jobs, exactly.
Yeah,
dating is very much like a job, especially the way that some people date. It's like a job search, and I'll get to that point later. But I'm gonna get to it the next step. But when people get rejected and it's sort of, I'm sure you've met people who are like, I got rejected.
It kills their...
It kills their confidence. It kills their drive. Like, rejection is great. Rejection is the best thing in the world. Being rejected just means that someone saved you a ton of time. You don't have to pursue this person anymore. You got rejected, you can move on.
Yeah.
You can wipe your hands of the whole, clean your hands, wash your hands of the whole event. There we go. That's the right term. So I always suggest that people get really comfortable being rejected and even go out of your way to try to get rejected. If you feel like a girl is out of your league or a guy's out of your league and you 100% think that they're going to reject you, ask them out and just get used to being rejected. And I try to tell, and I don't want to make it sound like no one gets rejected no matter how attractive they are, especially not women, but women tend to face less rejection when it comes to dating.
Mm-hmm.
One, because they're the people who are being pursued more often than not, and two, because they don't actually do a lot of the pursuing
or taking initiative.
Yeah, they don't. It's just our society. You can if you want to, but most guys are taught you need to pursue women. Most straight men anyway. Most straight men are gonna say, all right, or there's a hot girl at the bar, I'm gonna sit next to her, and I'm gonna see if she's interested, and I'm gonna hit on her.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that women don't hit on men. I mean, I've been hit on, you've been hit on, and so on and so on. Anyone, but it just happens a lot less frequently, and it definitely happens a lot less frequently. I've hit on more women in public than women have hit on me in public. It just statistically, like, it's a 1%. And I don't know about you, because, again, you're ridiculously good looking, but...
I feel like the only times women have been as open as to hitting on me as I was to them is when they were under the influence of something. Like...
Fair.
Like, I've gotten sexual offers from girls, but they were, like, drunk or like, smoking.
Yeah.
So.
And it's just because... I tried to explain it to someone. It's... women want to be comfortable when they're at a bar, and men want to have the availability of women. That's pretty much it. Most men just, it has less to do with comfort. A woman goes to a bar, and if she wants the guys to hit on her, or if she doesn't, she wants to feel safe in that.
Yeah.
Because, men are inherently dangerous to women. It just statistically shows that, a woman, I mean, there's video, I watched a video the other day where a woman got hit on and, rejected the guy and he hit her.
Wow.
Yeah, he just punched her, so a woman wants to be able to reject and not be hurt, obviously, but also they want to feel comfortable in a space where they can say no, but maybe there's another option, and guys just want to go places where there's a lot of women, and I think that a lot of guys can take rejection really personally. Like I just said that with that story. And it's not the only video I've ever seen of that sort of thing. It's really, really sad. But if you get good at being rejected, it doesn't faze you. You're not going to be, if you catcall a woman and she rejects you and you freak out, that's just not how you should approach life,
Yeah.
If you talk to a girl and she's not interested, you just move on, and it's better for you, and it's better for her as well.
I think also getting good at being rejected helps build your confidence on your point twos.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, because I can say as a performer on stage, like when the director told me no, that's not it. Yeah. I mean, that's not really a rejection, but it's rejecting what I'm doing.
Micro rejection.
Yeah, it's a little rejection, and I've become a lot more comfortable on stage simply because I don't get it perfect every time, and I never think a performance is perfect.
Yeah.
But I do believe that the harder I try to make it perfect, the better I will be, and the happier I will be on stage. Oh.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to get stuck on rejection.
Yeah.
I'm rejecting number 6. So, number 7, you should double or triple your dating options. This is assuming that you are dating and you're either not getting enough dates or the dates you're going on suck. And what I mean by that, when you mention the job search, is because if you are looking for a job and you're not getting any luck through one specific website, and you just constantly are not getting luck through that website, chances are that you're going to do something else in addition. You're going to be on that website, let's say like a Monster. So you're on Monster, That's not working out, so you would hit up your friends and friends of friends. Do you know anybody who's hiring? You would do that. You would also maybe do LinkedIn or whatever. And it's all about like numbers, because if you've applied to 100 jobs and no one's accepted you, you're going to apply to probably 500 after that, because you just have to constantly be churning out numbers. So with dating, the idea is if I'm only dating people that I meet in bars, it's a very small number of people that I'm going to meet. Mm-hmm. You know, how many people are going to talk to me in a bar, how many of them are going to be attractive, how many of them are going to be attracted to me, how many nights do I have to do that? That can get really expensive. So I always recommend that if you're on one website, join another. I mentioned Tinder earlier, so if you're on OkCupid, get on Tinder, get on Hinge. I can't think of any of the other ones, but there's like a million apps that you can sign up for, and it just triples your volume, the potential volume that you can get. Or it doesn't even have to be websites, but, you know, tell your friends, hey, I'm single, I'm looking, do you know anybody who sort of would fit for me? Tell friends and just sort of put yourself out there. I'm a big fan of like meetups, joining sports leagues, because there's a ton of social sports leagues in New York City.
You mean like fantasy football and things like that?
Not fantasy football, but more like you play a sport in person with people. Like you can join a league and play volleyball.
Oh, okay.
And I've done it with basketball. I've also done it with trivia. I met a bunch of people, and like we're still Facebook friends. And I didn't hook up with anyone from these places, but I at least like increased my circle of people, because the more people you know, the more people they know, and your circles grow and you meet people. There's chances that you can meet other people. I remember, not going to name names, but one of my first serious girlfriends, she started playing rugby because she thought that rugby dudes were attractive. Like the guys that played rugby were attractive. So she thought, well, if I'm playing girls rugby, lady rugby, I don't know, women's rugby, there we go. If I'm playing women's rugby, chances are when we go to rugby bars and drink, I'm going to meet rugby guys. Mm-hmm. And that was how she tried to meet dudes. I mean, she didn't meet me that way. I don't play rugby. But she expanded her options. So she went that route. We met online. So, you know, she actually was doing 2 different ways. So she doubled her chances. And of course, like work. So she had her work and friends in the city. She joined a sports league, which is really just a way for people to socialize. And she also was searching online. So it ended up working out.
Okay.
And I've always been a big believer in it. But, yeah. You don't know anything about that.
I don't.
Yeah, ladies just fall in your lap. So, number 8. We are approaching the finish line. Number 8 is try new places.
I was going to say that about the double, triple day. I'm glad I saved my comment.
You're just reading off the paper, that's why. So, I'm a big believer that you always got to mix things up. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that is just checking out new places. I've got a ton of bars not a ton. I've got a few bars that I go to a lot. And you've been to them, obviously.
Yeah.
But I hardly have ever taken a date to these bars, because you can't keep going to the same places, and it gets really awkward when you go into a bar for a first date and everyone knows you. It's not cool on the first date. It's not like, oh wow, that guy's a regular here.
That's like so after she's your girlfriend or something.
Yeah. It's like, hey, let me take you to my bar where I know everyone because of alcoholism. It's never a good look. Do you mix up where you go on dates, or do you do the same? I mean, you're in a relationship. We're both in relationships.
I sometimes I like to mix it up. Meaning, like, I may be walking down the street and go, oh, let's try here. Like it wasn't planned. No, like sometimes I think the best dates are not planned, because whenever I plan something with my girlfriend, it becomes very stressful. Yeah. It's like, oh, let's go there. Oh, I don't know, because last time I was there, and it's not fun anymore. It just becomes... Because
then it's like, well, I hope nothing happens this time.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there like, nothing better happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I try to mix it up. My girlfriend's pretty picky, so... It'd be like, let's try this new thing. And she's like, have you been there? I'm like, no. She's like, well, maybe after you go, I'll go. But we try to do new things. So it's less about the places we do. Yeah. And it's more about what we do. So it'll be like, have we gone ice skating? Cool, let's go ice skating. Or have we done this activity? Let's do that activity.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend are thinking about going hiking in February.
Oh, God, man.
Bear Mountain.
That'd be nice. Let me know if you do that. I want to go. I bought hiking boots.
You have hiking boots?
Yeah, I got hiking boots. I'll show you after we finish rapping. Yeah, I got hiking boots. I went upstate. Anyway. Number 9 is try new people. So I mean that both in try different types of people, like try new people that you maybe wouldn't be all that into before, you know, or literally stop dating the same people that you've been dating for a while and sort of keep coming back to, like, on again, off again exes, or like booty calls that like you're trying to make happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not always the case, but it's always good to sort of say, okay, this hasn't worked. It's not working. Might be time for a new person or a new type of people. I'm not saying that people should change completely. Like, if you're 100% attracted to a specific type of people, you might want to go out of those boundaries. Mm-hmm. You hear it from people all the time where, I only date finance guys. It's like, really? That's it? Just finance guys? Just that specific subset of people who work in finance?
Yeah.
Not successful in other field people, you know? If it down, you know, it's always weird when people have a preference about not personality, but I only date lawyers, I only date doctors. Like, okay, that's why you're single. You know, personally, I've always dated a very diverse type of people, not only just in their ethnicities or race, but also their backgrounds, their jobs, personalities, age. So I'm a big fan of trying new people. What do you think? You've also dated some people that don't look the same.
Yeah, I mean,
and are not the same.
I feel like I haven't dated any. I don't own them. Haven't dated any 2 girls that look the same.
Right.
But I feel like the ones that I've been in relationships with, for some reason, they have very similar personalities.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm always attracted to, like, the catty kind of girl. I don't know why, but
I hope your girlfriend doesn't listen to this one. Oh,
but I mean, she's not catty, but she's got a, you know. It's I guess I like the fun of arguing, but not arguing where it's like dangerous. But you know, like
it's a personality trait.
It's
fun.
Which
is fine.
Yeah.
And I think that in your case, you found a personality trait that you both like, and also works in relationships with you.
Yeah.
Whereas, if it's not working, if it's broken, that's when you got to fix it. Yeah. You know, I know a personality type that I like and I enjoy, and I'm not gonna say what it is, so my girlfriend doesn't punch me like yours is gonna do. But I don't have to change it because I know it's not broken.
Yeah.
Like, my dating life is great, actually. So I don't need to fix it. But if people are finding that they're dating terrible people, or they keep dating the same type of person and it keeps not working out, it's always like disappointing to them. They do need to change it.
Yeah, like doing the same thing and expecting a different.
Yeah, you know, what's the saying? Only a fool tries the same thing, or a crazy person
and expect a different
results.
You try the same thing and you expect different results.
Yeah. And finally, number 10, so that we can stop sitting. Number 10 is to, if you have to, and if you must, you should probably stop dating. And I say this because some people get in the habit of dating, and it's not necessarily a thing they enjoy all that much. People date to date. The same way that when someone says, how are you doing? And you say, I'm fine, when you're not fine, you get in the habit of doing it. Yeah. It's sort of a social thing you need to do. So people just date because they have to date, because society tells them that they have to date. And it's not always the healthiest thing. If you're finding that you can't get over an ex, or you simply are meeting people that you hate going on dates with, but you're just going on dates, you should stop dating. You should date and enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying it, stop and then take a step back. I think you mentioned that earlier, where you need to take a step back sometimes.
When stop dating people who are bad for you.
Yes, exactly. So overall, maybe these people aren't bad for you per se. Maybe you just don't enjoy dating, or you don't want to date. So you need to take a step back.
Or maybe it's not a good time.
Maybe it's not a good time, yeah. You know what? You travel a lot and you can't date. Or, you know, you just had a recent loss or whatever the reason. Sometimes you do need to take a step back and sort of look at things objectively, and maybe that taking a step back goes even further and says, I'm not dating right now. And that's it. That's all my tips. My hands are clean. I wash my hands of this. Do you have any other rando tips that you want to input on how to fix your dating life if said dating life is broken?
If the dating life is broken,
or even not even broken. Let me not say broken. Like, if it needs some fixing.
It's similar to stop dating, but I would say even beyond stop dating, maybe stop thinking about your love life for a moment. Like, maybe put your love life on the back burner for a while.
Oh, okay.
Like, just maybe focus on something you haven't done in a while, like a habit or something you used to do 5 years ago that you loved doing, but you stopped because you were in a 5-year relationship and you just end up stop doing what you love to do, or start writing, I don't know, just exploring yourself more, like a spiritual way, kind of.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Treat yourself as the priority and not
exactly.
dating.
Date yourself. Date yourself for a while.
Have you been reading my blog?
No, I have not been reading your blog. I have to.
That was good. That was really good. All right, that's it. And as always, as a reminder, please subscribe to Tao of Indifference on YouTube, iTunes, or Stitcher. You can find me on Twitter at indifferent_D. Delaney is not on any social media because he is a hermit. But you will find him on the next podcast. And as always, good luck out there. Bye.